Last week's episode was too long, so I broke it up into two parts. If you haven't seen the first part of our journey up Midtown 5th Avenue, I'll link it right here. If you're just finding this channel, I find places in New York City to go explore and take you with me. Now let's pick up where we left off and keep working our way up Midtown 5th Avenue. Let's go. Rockefeller Center is a 22-acre site with 19 commercial buildings on it. Construction first began in 1931, and the first building opened in 1933. The core of the complex was completed in 1939. Again, Art Deco, beautiful. The tall building down there is 30 Rock, and right in front of that is where they put the Christmas tree every year. They just took that down a little while ago, and now it's finally easy to walk around here again. This place is packed in the holiday season. So Rockefeller Center is beautiful to go and explore. I'm not going to venture in there now because the whole point of this is to stay on 5th Avenue. But if you want to see more about it, I did an episode on Rockefeller Center. Check that out if you haven't seen it. For now, let's keep going with 5th Avenue. This is St. Patrick's Cathedral. So construction started in 1858, and this was to replace the St. Patrick's Old Cathedral, which is downtown in Nolita. Construction was halted in the 1860s because of the Civil War, but they finally completed it in 1878. These two guys are next. The one on this side is the George W. Vanderbilt Mansion. It was part of what was called the Marble Twins. There was another one right next to it there that looked exactly the same. That one was torn down. This one's still here. So both of the mansions were constructed between 1902 and 1905. They're built in a French Renaissance revival style. So the other house was demolished in 1944, but this one went on to serve a retail purpose. The other mansion you can see there is known as the Cartier Mansion. Cartier actually occupies two different buildings here, one on 5th Avenue, one that's a little further down the street. They're both completed in 1905. The one on 5th Avenue here is known as the Plant House, after Morton Plant, who built it. So the Plant House was leased to Cartier in 1916, and they've been there ever since. Next we have St. Thomas Church. The church itself was incorporated in 1824, but it was first located down at Broadway in Houston. It moved up to Midtown in 1870, and up here at that point in time, it was located among all the mansions and all the rich people up here. And so that was the scene of a lot of high society weddings and funerals. The first building here was destroyed by fire in 1905, and then this building was completed in 1914. Next up is the Peninsula Hotel, which was built as the Gotham Hotel in 1905. The facade is built of limestone and granite, which is supposed to complement the University Club, which is right next to it. The St. Regis opened at the same time right across the street from it, which kind of hurt the chances of this being really successful. Also, the plaza is right down the street. That hurt it too. Neoclassical style. It's beautiful. It's only 32, but it is so cold. My hands are freezing. It's strange because when it was colder, it didn't feel this cold. St. Regis, built by John Jacob Astor IV, opened in 1904. Like I said, right across the street from the Peninsula. So Astor had considered building a residence here, but then this whole area was starting to turn more toward commercial use. So he decided to build a hotel instead. And the annex to the east was completed in 1927. Traffic's a mess here because the street's all torn up. Right across the street from the St. Regis and the Peninsula is the 5th Avenue Presbyterian Church. The church itself was founded in 1808, and it's been at this site since 1875. And when it was finished in 1875, this was the tallest building in New York City. The spire is 286 feet tall. Interestingly, in 1884, the joint funerals of Teddy Roosevelt's first wife and his mother were held here at the same time because they both died on the same day, February 14th, 1884. It's a crazy story. Back here we got Louis Vuitton. Interestingly, this isn't just a decoration that they put up. They're actually doing construction, and this is the covering that they put around the building to hide the construction. But it looks like Louis Vuitton suitcases. This is the Tiffany & Company building. This was completed in 1940. Tiffany & Company was actually founded in 1837, and they moved uptown 5 times before they got to this location. Prior to this becoming their flagship store, their store was at 5th and 37th before this. I think that store's still there, but this is now the flagship store as of 1940, and there's just so much traffic here. You may know this from the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's though. Not the cars, the building. This is Bergdorf Goodman. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of our last Fifth Avenue video. The store began in 1899 when Herman Bergdorf, a tailor, started mentoring a young Edwin Goodwin, a merchant, and they started working together, opened their first store, which was at 5th Avenue and 52nd Street, but as soon as they opened it, it was too small, so they started looking for a new place. This is the former site of Cornelius Vanderbilt II's mansion, which was one of the largest and grandest mansions in New York. After he died, his wife couldn't hold on to it, so she sold the land, and it ended up becoming Bergdorf Goodman. The design of this building is intended to evoke the architecture of the old Vanderbilt mansion. This building was built between 1927 and 28 and replaced the mansion that was here from 1882 up until 1927. And then lastly, we have the Plaza Hotel. This is built in 1907 in a French Renaissance chateau style. They replaced the hotel of the same name that was here from 1883 to 1890. There's a famous fictional character who used to live here, Eloise. Perhaps you've read her book. Other important guests have been the opera singer Enrico Caruso. F. Scott Fitzgerald and Zelda Fitzgerald also stayed here. Fitzgerald also featured the plaza in his book, The Great Gatsby. And Frank Lloyd Wright stayed here while he was designing the Guggenheim down the street. And then, of course, in 1964, the Beatles stayed here on their first visit to the United States. Plus, maybe you remember from Home Alone 2, the plaza. And that brings us to the end. This is where I started the last journey up Fifth Avenue. This is where I'll end this one. Bergdorf Goodman Plaza here, Grand Army Plaza over there. Just in time. I am freezing. My hands hurt. I'm shaking. It's crazy cold. Let's go find the subway. I'm back up to the east side after a nice but very cold exploration of Midtown, Fifth Avenue. If you're just finding this channel, be sure to check out all the rest of the episodes already available on YouTube up to the east side. Like and subscribe and tell all your friends about it. Look for new episodes every Friday. And thanks for coming with me to explore New York City. I'll see you next time.